What a day. You look lonely. I can fix that. Not even that hard, just picture.
Hey, I got a Glock in my Rari. I 17.
I know it's real.
I got a Glock in my Rari. 17 shots, no 38.
She's fine to wonder when she'll be
I know
yours.
it's
You walk past us, rewind to see there's one more time. Soda, fast money, no slow bucks. No one can control us.
It's fucking annoying is that I can see part of the wall, but never mind.
Yeah, definitely. Just a dead poster. It looks great.
Yeah.
I hate that you can see part of the wall and rubbish in my frame. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So, yeah.
I mean, there's like a million things to talk about because it's been a while.
Yeah, man. Just, I'm ready. Let's go, baby.
I like your cap. What?
That's class.
It's not the logo at all, but you know what's popping into my head is remember them like no fear caps from the 90s. Like no fear was like a logo. It was like it was just like two frowning eyes or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of, don't get us wrong though, that was shit. Like no fear.
Yeah.
But I don't know why it reminded us of but it's weird one of those, you know, like I think we talked about it in another episode about how like you wouldn't give a fuck about going to Netto now. But like that's what's come around in my head where I'm thinking like no fear as a kid I'd be like, I don't know why it looked shit, and it was like a kind of it was a bit chavvy and it was just, but mostly it was just shit. Whereas now I'd be like, oh, I'd wear a no fear t-shirt.
Yeah, no fear for sure. Yeah,
which would be so ironic because I've got so much fear.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I literally live with anxiety.
I live in constant
it's
fear.
an ironic t-shirt. Yeah.
You know, like how you curate your own fucking like TikTok and you know your YouTube algorithm and all that. It's just all politics now, and it's that thing of like I don't even want to be into politics. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't actually.
But that's all you're getting.
But it's all I get. But then I watch it. You know what I mean? So, but it's that thing of just like I'm like, oh, it's so depressing all the time. And yet I find myself like, so not that TikTok was ever like uplifting as or like fucking bettering my life in any way. I was still doom scrolling until 3 a.m. and I'm like, wow, I should really fucking try and be a human for a bit. You know what I mean? And not sleeping enough. But it's just all politics, and I'm just like, God, this country's fucked.
It is like, it
Everyone's,
definitely is.
The thing is like, obviously we're joke racist all the time, but like everyone's legit fucking hardcore racist.
Oh yeah,
now.
everyone is a genuine racist.
You know?
I mean, we'll make jokes
it's like,
about that fact.
Like jokes will always, like it'll always still be fun. It's super inappropriate, but it is still funny. But like,
it's
people
funny
are
though,
like legit fucking mental now.
Yeah, man.
It's just like stop the boats. And like I seen one, and I can't even remember what it was. It was like some woman calling it some show. Like you know, I don't watch TV or not, so I don't know what the show was. But it was like calling it the show, kicking off. I'm just like, yeah, I need to stop the boats coming over here illegally. And it's just like, so would you mind if they were coming over legally? And she's like, no. And just like, so how do you come across legally? And she's like, I don't know. She's just like, well, he's just like, so you don't know what you're fucking talking about, do you? Well, no, because they are coming here. You could just go anywhere. And you're just like, but what is your barometer for someone being illegal? That they're brown.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. The colour of their skin.
Their accent is not the same as yours. Like, you must be illegal. Like,
I mean, she's thinking in her head, you know what I mean? Well, it's the colour of their skin, and I don't like the fact that they're foreign.
And they just won't ever admit it, but that's what it is every time.
It's not racist, but, and then this Karen drops the most racist thing ever. I just want to burn them all when I get on the beach, do you know what I mean? With a cross in a white hood.
What? I just
like,
don't know.
It's racism.
It's just, but it's so like, it's not even thinly veiled. It's like fucking retardedly veiled. Like they're not even trying. Like
there isn't an IQ between any of the racists. Like
it's just mad. And then they're all like, have you seen all the posts, especially on TikTok? Like any political post, like one of the top comments will be like, "Vote Reform UK." And it's because like the word reforms kind of hooked them, I think, and nothing else.
Yeah,
like they can't really tell you the policies or like why they're like because we need reform. And you're like, yeah, but that's like
reform.
Isn't that the motto of like every campaign ever? Is like we're going to make it better. That's literally reform. You know?
Well, we need a change, but all of them are making a change. Yeah, but this one will have less blacks in it. Like, so just say that. Do you know what I mean? Just say that. That's the part. That's what you want.
You know, like how you have Play-Doh, and then you could reform it into different shapes, like all the colours except black.
Yeah. I didn't even mind the yellow ones. You know what I mean? Just the blacks.
As long as their English is perfectly fluent and I can still get Chinese
Yeah.
takeout, I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Them ones that make the TVs, they're alright. I mean, you see it though. Like a couple of years ago, there was this chav, right? No fucking brain cells, and he was like, the racism's coming back because of the Muslimic ray guns. But he was off his nut. Yeah, but he actually meant to say Muslimic, even though rape gangs. But he was so off his nut, he couldn't speak. And these are the people that they put on the TV to try and to say, you know,
the thing is, foreigners. It's one thing to like go to like a city centre, like a really deprived city centre, because like you'll know yourself, like obviously you as a YouTuber, you obviously are free technically through the day. Obviously you've still got loads of editing to do, but say you need to do shopping, you'll probably do it through the day. Whereas like someone working your typical 9 to 5 has to go in the evening. So like realistically, the majority of your workers, like obviously there's fucking evening workers and obviously there's nighttime workers, but the majority of workers working 9 to 5, they're doing stuff in the evening. So when you go to any fucking like working class kind of town centre, that's where the unemployed people are. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying all unemployed people are retarded, because they're not, but the people who hang around fucking shopping centres for the entire fucking day are retarded.
Oh, they all like.
And that's why it's so easy to see these videos where someone just goes to a city centre and you're like, yeah, because if you go to a city centre on a Tuesday at 10 a.m, like most people there are fucking touched.
Where they get their money and then they go buy some alcohol and then they just sit around the forum, the area where
because you want the alcohol so quickly and not willing to fucking even take it home. You're like, home's too far away. I'm just gonna
like let's drink this and be racist. You know what I mean? Like
but then they're just like, so what are your opinions on the fucking it's the thing. It was like, obviously you kind of want everyone to vote because that's true democracy, is everyone having their say. But then you just see some people like, you shouldn't vote. You shouldn't have say.
You should have been strangled at birth.
And it's not an unemployed thing though, because like I say, I myself am currently unemployed. It's like not it's not like just because of that. It's just like you see some people and you go, it's not even necessarily always an IQ thing as well. It's just more like they've not had enough research done themselves, or they've just had one type of research. Do you know what I mean? So
all
like
caps Facebook posts.
All caps Facebook posts, or like if you just believe the news. Like, I just always watch the news. Like, you just read the Sun.
You watch.
Do you know what I mean? I just read the Sun because they tell us about sports. I see some titties and they tell us to be racist. You know what I mean?
That's it. well, the paper said, you know what I mean? We shouldn't like black people, so I don't. You know, like form an opinion yourself, but they can't. And they are. I mean, obviously they're not retarded, but I mean they kind of are retarded. You know what I mean? Because they don't broaden their mind enough to think maybe it's a little bit different than what this one person is saying.
I just love when they fold under questioning, but it's the problem. The problem is like, it's one of those things I've got as I got older. Is obviously like I'll have massive discussions with anyone and like argue both sides, and for devil's advocate, I'll sometimes say, oh, let's just see what the other side is. But as I get older now, especially strangers in particular, I just don't even argue with people anymore, because I just think like, I know that you can't change someone's mind. Like, I don't know how you actually change someone's mind, because my mind's changed recently. Like, my mind went from like, right, we need to fucking vote tactically and get the fucking Tories out. And then now it's like, obviously doing more research, I'm like, oh, we're going to win by such a lead, especially like the areas that you live in. Like, we obviously live in separate areas, but the areas that we live in have always historically voted Labour. So like, our vote can be anything we want, but more than anywhere else, because Labour are going to get in either way. So if you don't agree with Labour, which I personally don't, I think Labour have become Tory light. If I'm going to vote for the Green Party, like because I align with them taxing the rich more than anything, right? I don't really give a fuck about, you know, like saving the world and all this, and like I don't like, that's what people really associate with the Green Party. They're like, oh, Green Party, like all you care about is like recycling energy and fucking vegans or something. Like that's how like idiots think about it. But you're like,
you're going to take away my sausage rolls.
Yeah, but then listen to the policy. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to tax people at 1% on people who are like have over 10 billion. And I'm like, yes, those are the people who should be taxed.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm like, yes, absolutely. And obviously we're in an area where it's like, it makes more sense because Greens probably won't fucking get in, let's be realistic. But any fucking votes for them, you know what I mean? Like, that's a lean in the right direction. And at best, you could end up having like a split fucking parliament between, you know, Labour and fucking Green, which at least means you would get, you know, some more input where like, oh, look, here's a party that actually cares about working class people because Labour doesn't anymore. And like, obviously, I think everyone's universal on Tory, but like being shit. But obviously the Tory vote's going to be split between Reform and the Tories, because Reform's like far right Tories. Do you know what I mean? They're like, we're Tories, but we're not even pretending we're racist.
We're the racist Tories. That should be that slogan.
But I just think it's that thing of like, it used to be like, oh, vote tally, but I just think that's like now like what's the word? It's not a red herring, but it's like a dog whistle. I think that's the term. It's like it's basically you're trying to convince people like to vote in a certain way when really it's your vote and you should vote exactly for who your opinions ally with. And if you're not sure, do fucking like a survey. Like you can do like surveys online and go who. And realistically, it's probably Labour for most people.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I'm like, oh, but it's like I think the reason this country's fucked isn't necessarily just the fucking Tories. It is literally the Tories and their fucking 14 years of like what their past decisions. But it's the fact that just big business just gets away with not being taxed.
Everything, yeah.
It's been happening for years. Like even years ago, it was like, wasn't it Starbucks and like fucking Google and shit like that? They just don't pay any fucking tax.
They just don't pay tax.
And
I don't understand why. Like, that is absolutely mental. They make billions in profit, and they're like, oh, well then, congratulations, you don't have to give us any. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't get
zero
it.
Sense.
I wonder if it's because like now they're literally one of the fucking biggest employers. Because like whenever I go and look at jobs, it's always fucking delivery driver jobs. Like if you just do like a standard search of just jobs available in your area, like not actually putting any keywords, that's what comes up on like
it's just Amazon.
Every third job is just a call center on Amazon. Like that's it's weird because that seems to be the only fucking jobs that are like quite easy to get. And yet they're the first jobs that AI is going to fucking kill, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest Lipton's tea I've
ever
seen.
Right?
I thought they only came in little ones. It's massive, that.
You know me,
I want tea, but I want all me tea in one go.
I'm just an absolute caffeine fiend. It's like the only thing that gets us through anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like AI is going to fucking kill everything, which, like, personally, I cannot wait for in the sense of call centers. I fucking hate call centers. I don't want to talk to anyone ever, like outside of like you and me partner. I'm trying to like, and maybe 3 other people who are friends, and that's it. And even then, I'm just like, sometimes.
Do I have to speak to these? But yeah, I'm exactly the same. I've phoned Sky because the internet's fucking garbage, right? Yeah. And I'm supposed to be getting like 400 up, 100 down, something like that. And it's not even 40. And they're like, well, there's not a problem on your line. I was like, well, there clearly is. Like, no, it's peak times. I'm like, bro, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm uploading a video. I was up at 6.
Yeah.
It's not peak times. And he said, well, I'll call you back on Monday. I was like, all right, Monday's gone. Hasn't called back. I just want to get you off the phone. So I have to ring them back, and it's depressing. I hate speaking to people on the phone.
Same.
I wish I could send them a text. Do you know what I mean? Sort the fucking internet out.
Well, the irony is I literally used to work at Sky on broadband. This was before like they did full fiber and stuff. It was just like it was just normal fiber or whatever. And I fucking hated it, and it was like one of the first jobs where I got like really fucking depressed that way. Because people were just like arguing with you all the time, which is one thing. But then, although it was like the technical support team, so your job was to have like to fix people's broadband, I had like a really high fix rate. It was something like 90%. So like I literally like if you got through, it was 9 times out of 10 essentially I fixed your problem. Yeah. But I wasn't selling enough. And they were like pissed off at us all the time. But I'm like, but they're calling for like their broadband's broken. They're not calling because they need Sky movies. But Sky was just like, yeah, but you're a piece of shit because you're not telling this old lady who reads like 1 email from her son a week. You're not telling her that she needs fucking fiber. And I'm like, cause she doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like thinking to me gran, she doesn't want or need that or like would understand that. And like, it's hard enough to fucking explain it on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like 80-year-old Sylvia, she needs to say Expendables 2, so get her the movie packages. You know what I mean?
And
like,
then I quit because it was making us fucking sad. And then the irony is like a month later, it changed to like a chat room. So like that whole team just types to people now. And I'm like,
you see,
I could definitely have done that.
Yeah. Still hate me job, but at least
You
I'm
know what I mean?
typing.
Like someone just like, oh yeah, my internet doesn't work. And you're like, lol. Like smiley
LOL.
face. Yeah. Unlucky, sad face. Yeah.
BRB and then just don't BRB.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Plus, like, sales wouldn't even be hard on text because you just find whoever was the best salesman and just copy and paste what they said.
Yeah,
Do
well,
you
that's it,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, that's what
hate
AI is
shit
going to
like
do.
that.
AI is going to be like, you know, you just... And I mean, Amazon's already that. I don't know if you had a problem with an Amazon package recently, but you talk to AI now.
No.
So like, what did I have? Oh, well, that's why I've got giant Lipton iced tea, actually, is I ordered some cans of pop and they didn't come. But it was weird. It just said, like, a problem occurred, and then there was, like, no options.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking
just
helpful.
life to a T,
I'm
that,
like,
innit?
a problem occurred. I was like, I know, I woke up, right? Tell us something I don't know.
A problem killed. You can't fix it. It's your life. Just,
I was like, yes.
A reminder.
I'm like, yes, I just want to fucking inject some caffeine into myself so that I can have an ounce of purpose, please.
Yeah.
So, like, I went and it's like, you get on and I didn't realize until like a few, and I'm like, this isn't a person. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because after one of the things, it started giving us like options, like you clicking the one that was appropriate and stuff like that. Yeah, and I was just
B,
like,
to kill yourself.
yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, and it worked. The thing, what was more upsetting, I suppose, was it worked perfectly. Like, it literally worked perfectly, and I'm like, oh, it's the end of times. This is why we need a universal basic income. I don't want this to be a whole episode about politics. Not very interesting or funny, you know what I mean? But like, I just think we need a universal basic income for one of those jobs.
I'll just throw in some comedy racism every time you say something. I'll just be like, yeah, but the blacks. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but we can't have basic income because the people coming across on boats and get it, and I'm not having that.
Yeah, they take away the money because of the boats and racism. Yeah, I mean, I like the coming over here taking our jobs. Like, so you want to be a neurosurgeon, do you, Keith? Well, no. Well, that's what he is in his country. So he's going to be one. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. What's that? You've got a bad back, Keith. You can't work, Keith. Oh, okay.
It's also like, let's be honest. Like, most people don't aspire to shit jobs. Like, nobody aspires to a shit job, and like most of the shit jobs are done by foreigners. So it's like they're doing you a massive service because they make your life more fucking. Like, most delivery drivers are foreigners. Like, the majority, do you know what I mean? And it's because that's a shit job, essentially, in terms of pay. You know what I mean? Like, pay and things like that. It's like low pay, low hours. You know, there's no guarantees. Like, you get paid, but you might have to pay for your own transport and your own fucking petrol and stuff like that. So, like, it's like taxi driving. Like, my dad was a taxi driver for years, but, like, taxi driving, like, people used to think it was a lot of money, but you could only, like, it would be like, oh, you can make $1,000 a week. And it's like, yeah, if you work like fucking 20 hours a day.
All the hours.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes in the day you're sitting around. So, like, people who were like fucking smart would be like, oh, well, you know, I work a couple hours at this point, then I know it's dead between 11 and fucking 12, so I don't work during those. You know what I mean? Like, you have to.
Yeah.
But realistically, what most fucking taxi drivers are, they're just out the house all fucking day. To make like just a kind of barely livable fucking wage. So same with taxi drivers. Most taxi drivers are foreign. So it's like, so you're eliminating all your fucking delivery driving work. You're eliminating, you know what I mean? Like, most people don't want to do these jobs.
Yeah.
And this thing of like, and the whole like, the thing that's weird about employment is like, employment's actually at like a countrywide historical high. So there's more people employed now than have ever been in history. But apparently, like, foreigners are the issue.
Yes.
Like, they're not stealing the job.
Well, that's it. I mean, they don't. But I mean, that's just their excuse. Like, I mean, look, racism, it's bullshit. But at least be honest if you are racist. You know what I mean? Don't hide it behind some other bullshit. Just be like, yeah, I don't like black people, or I don't like Chinese, or whatever. Like, I just don't like them. Like, fair enough. At least you're being honest about it. You're a cunt. But you're being honest. You know what I mean?
I've only ever met one person in my entire life who was the most unashamed racist person I ever met. And he was so racist that, like, he literally won't even eat foreign food. So, like, you'd be like, oh, did you get Chinese takeout? I was like, oh, nah, none of that dirty shit. Like, and you're like, what the fuck? But it was kind of like, don't get us wrong, obviously fucking abhorrent, but also it was just like almost like hilarious. It was just like, well, at least he's kind of got like fucking true conviction, because he wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Because most people are like proper like, oh, stop the boats, but then I'm getting Chinese takeaway on the weekend, or I'm getting an Indians on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Could murder a kebab the night after I've drank 12 pints of Turkish beer and shit like that. Yeah.
Like everything they eat isn't pizza foreign? Pizza's like Italian, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
So
Italian.
it's like,
Everything is.
everything's foreign. Chips or
So
French fries.
Yeah, you just. So he literally just eats eggs that his chickens hatched that he got from a British farm and nothing else.
And obviously
What are you
those
having tonight?
chickens are
Eggs.
white chickens. There's no brown hens in his fucking...
There's no browns. If there's a brown mark on their egg, he throws them out. Fucking hell. Well, I mean, at least he sticks to
Aryan
his
egg,
convictions,
anyone?
you know what I mean?
Aryan eggs, Benedict, anyone?
Aryan omelette. You have to stop saying Aryan in front of it. It's just an egg. It's an Aryan omelette. Fucking hell. What a guy. Yeah, I was going to say, how do you know my dad again?
And anyway, to end that story, it was me.
Yeah, it was me dad.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But
I don't know
yeah,
who my dad
just
is.
like nobody does. Just tell people it was like the start of Terminator, and you just spawned naked, fully grown, and just started sprinting.
Fully grown, and I got the humor package in the AI for an extra $3.99. So it's weak humor,
Upgrade.
but it's humor. I got the upgrade. Yeah.
Got the racism upgrade.
Hey,
Racism
you can do
cartridge in the back of
humor.
that.
But it's like a SNES thing. You got to blow on it and stick it in the back. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes
All right,
it
you
doesn't work.
pervert. Like, all right.
So anyway, we hate the blacks. We like the blacks. What's happening?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the colour, but Green Party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shame
well,
it's
that's
not
it,
White
yeah.
Party, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Have you speaking of blacks, just to clarify, not really racist, there's this white woman who dropped the N-word in a TikTok. It's
Right.
like these broke ass and then the N-word. You see, I'm not racist enough to say that.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. Even though my barber calls it all the time. I get really white when he does as well. He's like, you come for your cut, and then he says that word, and I'm like, good evening, sir. Yes, I would like my haircut. Thank you, fella.
Oh, yes, please, Squire.
How do I respond to that?
Oh, you rapscallion.
Yeah, you rapscallion.
You all of a sudden have a really long mustache that you can twiddle for no reason. Where'd that
just
come from?
twirling
It just
the mustache.
grows in the moment. It's like, could you cut this
Just
off,
a monocle
actually?
in Earl Grey. Like, yes, please. One haircut, sir. So anyway, this woman said the N-word, and then obviously everyone was like, you can't say that. Then she got fired from her job. So then she like sat in her car and was crying like how the nerds are taking over, because she was a popular kid at school.
Jesus Christ.
And she's like, all the nerds that I was meeting at school are now billionaires and rich. I don't know what's wrong with the world. And like, she's just lost a low-paying job because she dropped the N-bomb. And she was like, well, I'm the victim. Like, no, you're not the pet, are you? Let's be honest.
It's weird though, isn't it? The trope of like peaking in high school is so American.
Yeah.
Like, although people do peak in high school in the UK, like that does happen. Like, there's people where you're like, oh, that was the fucking coolest, not the coolest. I don't think there's anyone in my high school, or our high school rather, who I thought, that's the coolest person. But there was nobody in high school where I was like, oh, he was in with the in crowd or the popular kids or whatever. And then, and like, that was his fucking thing. But like, later on, like, every single lad who was like, liked, was getting the girls, and was like hard was kind of that's a thing. Like, tough is more fucking important, I suppose, in a UK working class high school than it is probably in America.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So like the hard kids who were always like their own group because they didn't really fight with each other, because they would I'll fight back sort of thing, and would just team up to be like the mega dickheads, and who were actually having sex with the lasses in high school. All those lads went on to do fucking nothing.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
One of the most popular lasses in the school is now a crackhead, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
She's got like 4 teeth, lost her kids, and she's given blowjobs for £5. Like,
Yeah. I remember.
and that's not even a joke.
Yeah, I remember one lass who like.
I got her down to £3 like last week, so I was fucking buzzing.
And every time she loses a tooth, it's just a little bit nicer. So it's
That's
just
what I mean. It's like, yeah. No, but seriously, yeah, she's a crackhead now. So,
well, one of the
she
lasses
used to be mean at school to all the
Yeah.
lads, call them perverts and that.
Yeah.
And then now she's a crackhead. So
I mean, she wasn't wrong.
the end of that
Lads
story.
are perverts.
I mean, I was a pervert, like, do you know what I mean?
What do you mean,
But
was?
You just have to say it.
Do you mean what? When you said you'd have to say that, you meant last week, didn't you? Like,
Yeah,
you need to say-
I
but yeah,
was.
like one of the lasses who, like, I think, like, everyone fancied at school, who I'm not gonna obviously name drop or anything, but like, she did. I don't think she went on to be like a fucking. She didn't go on to be a cracker or anything, but she just went to be on like a normal person. Like, there was nothing special about her life. Like, I think she was like a hairdresser or something. Like, there's not. Do you know what I mean? So like these people who were like everything in school. But that's the thing about school as well, is like I wish you could really convince kids, because obviously as a kid who was like, obviously like we've had this conversation before, puberty hit me late. Like, you know what I mean? It was only last week that I grew this beard, so it was like I was like the shortest kid in all of high school. Even in the last year of high school, because puberty hit us that fucking late, so I was tiny. And obviously I used to get fucking chinned all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And like all those lads, I'm like bigger than like all of them. You know what I mean? To the point where like I bumped into some a few years ago, and like they thought I was gonna chin them for like from school. Like, I'm like, I don't hold a grudge that long. Like, don't get us wrong, I think you're a piece of shit, but like,
you're a dickhead.
But I'm not gonna bray. I'm not gonna bray you for like
yeah.
the fact that you had a shit childhood as well. Do you know what
Well,
I mean?
that's it. Yeah.
But I wish
mean,
you could tell kids now, or like I wish there was a way to convince kids in that fucking times, like these people really won't matter to your life. Like they really won't. And also everyone at school, like it's really hard to fathom when you're in it, but it's like you probably never even see half these kids again. Like you say, I still lived in my hometown for what, and you still live there. I still lived there for like what, 15 years after high school, like or more. And I don't think I encountered anyone from high school. I would say it was less than 5 people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Same. I saw somebody that I went to school with, and he must have had a hard fucking paper round, because again, he looks like a crackhead. Like I was friends with him for years at school, and we used to talk to each other all the time. And I saw him in Iceland, the shopping place. I didn't go there on holiday. Can't do that, like, because all them fucking what they're called, Inuits or whatever they're called, the people who live in Iceland. Anyway,
Eskimos.
so yeah, I saw him, and he just looked like a crackhead. He looked about 60. So
yeah,
everyone I know is a
man.
crackhead.
It is mad though, isn't it? You know what I mean? I suppose though, like when you come from like a small town like ours, where it's like that, and it's like really low income and stuff, you're not expected to do anything. You know what I mean? You're not expected to do anything but kind of fail. But it's not like I'm like, haha, those people failed. Just more like, as someone who was bullied, I just think like, I wish I could tell every fucking kid who's bullied that like, these people won't affect your life like beyond high school. Like beyond high school, it's pretty fucking chill. You know what I mean?
Well,
I've literally never been bullied since. And obviously I got bigger, and I also like my opinion of myself changed in the sense of like I'll stand up for myself now and shit.
Yeah.
But like people just don't even fucking try, and this is like, and obviously. This is probably like a bad fucking iteration because like I'm a fucking big guy with a beard, but like pre-fucking beard and like even like 17, I was just like, oh, I'm not going to get bullied ever again. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But also you just never see these people.
Like, yeah, well that's it. There is a day where you're like, nah, fuck that, I'm not tolerating that. I mean, I was lucky in high school, but in middle school I was bullied. But it clicked for me earlier because I was bullied relentlessly by this kid, and my uncle said, just hit him straight away. He used to say, after school, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. And I used to just wait. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to get shit after school. And then he went, well, hit him straight away. Just punch him straight away as hard as you can in the face. If you get kicked the shit, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then he did. He went, after school, he made us ask some lass out for him, right? Because I was terrified. And again, I was small. So I did. And then she went, hey, I wouldn't go out with him. He's a fat cunt. So I went back and told him. And he took it out on me. I didn't even ask. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he went, after school. So I just thought, right, this is it. And I just fucking lamped him. And he never bullied us again. Yeah. But in high school, do you know, like the dodgy DVDs used to, like the cam copies and stuff? Like my dad used to do them, so I used to sell them at the school. So everyone loved me because I was giving them like the dodgy DVDs.
You were like a little fucking wheeler dealer in high school.
Yeah, I was the little fucking Del Boy in high school. So yeah, they seem to like me, and because my name sounds similar to porn in their eyes, they used to call us porn. Yeah, I eat porn. I'm like, aye. Like, I didn't give a fuck about them. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, well, I'm not getting beat to shit. Yeah. So that's
like, porn's better than fucking getting chinned again.
Yeah, I suppose so.
We should have called this podcast "Porn and Something." You know what I mean? Porn in the beard.
Yeah. Do it. I mean, fucking Patreon thinks that we're trying to make porn, so
That is true.
I don't think we've got an email back off them yet. Like, so I'll have to.
I don't know how they know that we're trying to.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
It might have something to do with the name, like.
Yeah. It's because you keep trying to fucking upload dodgy DVDs to the site. They're like, we
That's
don't
it,
accept DVDs.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, but I've got
So
this
many-
sleeve with 500 movies in.
I sold so many copies of Blade 2, man. It was wicked.
Yeah,
I mean,
fucking
I must have got 50 at school. So I got like a couple of quid for myself.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Such a time as well. For like that was probably the best time for fucking pirating, really, wasn't it? It was like,
Yeah.
because we've all, I think not everyone, obviously, but I think most people have just given up. Like I think, well, we're not going to say who's doing what. But but most people, you know what I mean? Most people have just subscribed to fucking services and shit, you know what I mean? Whereas,
Yeah.
you know, obviously Pirate Bay being the big one, but I mean, like, it was just a done thing. Like, what was the big fucking software you had on your computer that fucked everyone's computer? LimeWire. I didn't have LimeWire. I had Kazaa. Did you hear of Kazaa?
No, I had LimeWire.
It was exactly the same as LimeWire. It just infected your computer, and it was like, obviously you were just rolling that dice of like, you thought you were getting a fucking episode of, you know, whatever, and instead it was like, oh, here's gay porn.
Yeah.
Again. Sorry,
Yes!
Dad, it was an accident. It's
Just
like, I did
midget porn.
say, you just actually did search the title of your movie, but you just added bumming on the end or something like,
Yeah.
oh, I
You
love
see,
the
I was the
Warriors.
opposite.
Bumming.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I always try to get gay porn and got an episode of some TV show, and I was devastated. So
Yeah, you're like in loads of fandoms because you accidentally see. I've
Yeah,
been wanking to
that's
Doctor Who for years. What? For years. I'm like, when's he
I
gonna
was
get
looking for
stop?
Doctor Who, but I got Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, every episode, like, when is he gonna take that coat off?
Say Alonzi, you slut.
What's it called when he transforms? Is it just literally transforming? I'm not that good. up on it. Regenerating. That's it. Yeah. So you're like, when's he gonna regenerate into someone not wearing any clothes?
Yeah, exactly. When he regenerated into a bird, I was like, well, how am I supposed to be erect now? Do you know what I mean? Like, not a literal bird, like a woman. It's like, I'm not. I mean, he came back as a black dude, so I'm semi now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's because
we're
I'm
going in the
racist.
right direction.
Yeah. We're getting closer to the Aryan new Doctor. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
let's go.
Yeah.
Like I say, I have watched some Doctor Who, but it was back in the David Tennant years. But I never really got hardcore into it. Like,
Yeah, David Tennant was my doctor. Like, he was
yeah,
class. Now it's just garbage. And like, don't get us wrong, I like the guy Shooty Gatwa he's called. I like him. He was great in Sex Education. He's good as the Doctor. It's just the writing around him and the stories are just woke bollocks.
yeah.
Much like the new Star Wars. I don't know if you've.
I haven't I've heard about it, but I think the problem is that like with Doctor Who is specifically Doctor Who, even at its peak, was always corny. Like that's kind of it's always been kind of low budget and a bit corny. So like you couple that with like all we care about is inclusivity and nothing else. Like you couple that, you just get you're in for like it ultimately what happens though. It's you're not enjoying it because of the inclusivity and that you end up just not enjoying it because it's just boring. It's just like shit.
because it's always that's what they focus on. Like, don't get us wrong. Like, I don't care about anyone's gender or what have you. It doesn't bother me. But when it's like shoved in your face, like this is why we're going with this, and that's all we're doing. It's like, but you're doing. It's like Pride. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a Pride Month, which again I don't give a fuck about. But everyone will change their logo to something. But it's just for fucking money, and they can't see it, and it fucking annoys me. It really does.
One that bugged me was Equalizer. So they did the Equalizer films with Denzel Washington, and then they did the fucking TV show with fucking Queen Latifah. But the problem is I actually think it did go both ways. So what happened initially was like what annoyed me about the Queen Latifah show. I was like, oh, Queen Latifah. I'm sorry, no offense, but she's an overweight woman, like, and I'm an overweight man. So this isn't me going like overweight people suck. I mean, I suck, but like. I'm like, no way is Queen Latifah chinning all these trained fucking guys. But in their defense, I never ended up watching it, but because it just looked like shit TV. But then to say like it goes both ways. I watched like the recent fucking Equalizer film, Equalizer 3, and I thought Denzel, like, and I love Denzel Washington. I thought Denzel was like, oh, you look old and fat in this. Like, and he's not fat, but there's like, he's not like, I'm still way fatter than him, don't get us wrong. But like, but he's literally a 70-year-old man. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's acceptable for him to be like that. Do you know what I mean? But like, as a movie, it was just like silly. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But and it also like, it was a bit like you know, like you say, like Expendables and stuff, and you can say like their mobility is just not the same, so they do a lot of cuts and stuff like that. And in that movie, he didn't really do much fighting as much as he did shooting. Do you know what I mean? It was like mostly like, and he didn't really have anyone like chin him. You know what I mean? Like because it wouldn't be believable that this small, because Denzel Washington, I'm pretty sure, isn't a really tall man or anything. So he's not a tall man, and he's old as shit. And you can say in this, because I'm sure there's a bit where you see him in a t-shirt, and the t-shirt's quite like tight or whatever, and it's like you can see he's got like, you know, not fucking massive tits or anything, but he's got tits.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's a 70-year-old
and
dude.
little fucking belly sort of thing. But like, he looks like what I'd expect a 70-year-old dude to look like. And don't get us wrong, he still looks fucking incredible and everything. But it's that thing of like, it was like, oh, I hope this is the last one, because one, I thought it was shit anyway. I thought it was like the laziest fucking story that they did. But also, it's just that, do you know what I mean? Where it's just like, oh, we're hitting that point where, like, not that those films are mega believable, you know what I mean? But there's a point where it's just, like, silly. And I thought, like, the Queen Latifah thing, I'm like, that's just silly. And then I thought, am I being a sexist piece of shit? And then I, like, literally watched it, and I was like, nah, this is silly.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some of the Queen Latifah show, and it's just exactly the same. Like, she takes on 4, and I'm talking 6'4" blokes, fucking huge. She takes them all on, and of course she wins, and it's just, it's stupid. It's like Batwoman, right? When that show came out, like, I get it, Batwoman is trained and all that, blah, 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 but again, like, she was being punched in the face and taking it. Like, in reality, I mean, come on. You just and then it was like, I'm a lesbian, and all men, like, every single bad guy was a man all the time, except for our sister. And then our sister became, like, as far as I got, a good guy because there was a worse man bad guy. And it's just, like, it's...
The thing is, well, it's just weird, though, because it's that thing of, like, the suspension of disbelief, and then there's just, like, it's just silly. For example, I actually really like the newer Tomb Raider games. Like, was it 2015 same. The first one came out? Like, and obviously they did, like, Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow. Like, I really like those games, and they were cool. And like I say, even though mostly she's shooting, you know what I mean? There is moments where you're like sticking a pickaxe into a guy's head and like pulling him over a thing and stuff like that. Yeah. But it felt believable because she was a young, physically fit woman. And it wasn't like, but then there was scenes where, like, there's that scene, I think, in the first one where she nearly gets raped, because it's not a fucking game about rape or whatever, but she nearly gets raped, essentially.
Yeah, she does,
because, like, realistically, the average bloke can overpower most women.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And it's just like, it's not that you can't tell a good story under those metrics. It's just sometimes they're just like, they're so fucking desperate to be like, yeah, but women are strong. It's like, nobody's saying women aren't strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just the fact that men are stronger.
It's just facts.
I mean, unless you're fucking Ronda Rousey, do you know what I mean? You're not.
Even still, did you see that UFC video from Russia? There's like some video in Russia, like, and it was like some male streamer, and he's obese, like, fat guy, big gut hanging over and everything. And he fights 2 female streamers in a UFC style match, like in an octagon sort of thing. But they're like both slim, quite fit. And I think one of them's taller than him as well. And it's like these 2 women, and it's like, he's not a fighter, he's a streamer, and he fucks them up. And it's like, because like fucking Russia's obviously like, so they're wearing like headgear and shit, and he's just wearing like normal UFC, so he's just got UFC gloves on and that, and like shorts.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's not a fighter at all, and he still fucks them up, and that's like, average fat dude beating up 2 like physically fit women. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think it was like a charity thing, like, to be fair, like, you know what I mean? But
he wasn't just beating them up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it was like I don't think it was like they genuinely had heat or anything like that, but it was just like, but it's just testament to that proof, like, even a fit woman versus your average bloke, because as an average bloke, you just have fucking more bone density and fucking broader shoulders and
that's it.
More force in your fucking punches and things.
I'll have to watch that. Like, I mean, it won't be me. It won't be me worst one.
Yeah,
but I mean, it'll be up there. Do you know what I mean?
I can only imagine the searches like UFC knockout ladies nude. What? I don't know. How did nude get in?
You have to add nude at the end. Like, I mean, yeah, that'll not my proudest wank, but I'll give it a shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like my girlfriend will punch me in the arm, and then I'll jokingly, obviously, I don't live in an abusive relationship, and then I'll punch her back, and she'll be like, "You punch really soft." I'm like, "No, I'm making an active choice to give you 3% of my power, because if I punched you with 10%, I'd break your arm."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? She's
Well,
like,
there's
"Ah,
another video which I think was a really good example. It's in some gym, and it was like two boxers, and it was like the last was like, I don't know, she was like a ranked boxer, like it's in like, you know, she must be in the top 200 or something like that, and just, you know, like they put the belly fucking protector on, and then they punch each other in the belly and stuff, and she's giving her hardest fucking punches to this guy's belly. And he's just like, he's a boxer as well, don't get us wrong. He's like a really tall, shredded guy or whatever. But like, she's top 250. And he's just fucking wailing on him. And he's just like, yeah, I can kind of feel that one.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just like, oh yeah, I can tell you're punching us sort of thing.
yeah, you must be hitting us."
But it's like, you know what I mean? It's that thing of like, I think Serena Williams said it, like the tennis player, she said it in an interview on like one of the late night shows in America. She was like, oh, I'm glad I don't have to play the men. She was like, I'm top of the women, but she's like, but I wouldn't even rank against the men, so I wouldn't be like top 200 against. So like the top 200 man would, and I'm sure they did. I don't think it was her, but it was like some other ranked tennis player did like an exhibition match with a man, and she won 1 point.
Yeah,
and he won every other set. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing about like trans people in sports as well. Like there was someone who was ranked like 500th in swimming as a man, and then came out as transgender and is like one of the highest ranked female. I use the word female loosely. I mean, he was like 8 foot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he's ranked high in the world for
people.
And I think it's bullshit.
People try and make the argument. They go, well, some women are tall, and you're like, yeah, but no woman has the natural bone density of a man.
Yeah.
So the explosive power of that fucking bone density and capability of muscle mass, if you've went through male puberty, so it doesn't really matter about the trans. So like, if you were actually like, obviously puberty blockers, I think are banned in most places now, aren't they? They're getting banned in a lot of places. But if say you're blocked and didn't go through male puberty, I actually do think you could compete in those sports, because if you hadn't went through male puberty, you wouldn't have developed things like broad shoulders, like stronger bone density, like longer bones and things like that. So like, because look, there's tall women, but I'm like, I'm sorry, but there's no woman who's like 6'5" and has the same fucking bone density as a man who's 6'5". Like, it's just not the same. So like, height's not really a marker at all. So you know what I mean? People go like, oh well, you're just saying that because he's tall. There's tall women. I'm like, yeah, but a tall woman still doesn't have what a tall man has in terms of just like innate fucking strength. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not actually sexist. That's what I'm saying. So like, it's that thing of like, for me personally, as someone who doesn't give a fuck about sports, I'm not interested in sports. I don't have a horse in the race. Really, I don't actually give a fuck, because I don't care about anyone competing in sports, because
about anything,
because I personally find it boring. Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't think, I think the only thing that's impressive about sports is the dedication to that sport. But being exceptional is about your natural gifts. Do you know what I mean? So like, obviously your dedication's one of your natural gifts, I guess. But like, if you're talking about the top 200, aren't they all naturally fucking dedicated? Or like, not naturally dedicated, but willing to be dedicated. Whatever it takes to fucking train every fucking day. The top 200 people are doing that. The difference normally between the 200th place person and the fucking first place person isn't that the fucking 200th place person doesn't train as much. It's like, nah, that guy is literally taller and has fucking bigger muscles. Or what's that fucking... It was like a cyclist or something like that.
Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, it was like him or someone like that, where they did some testing. It was someone like, he had something like unique about his lungs, where his lungs respirated and oxidized better than anyone else's lungs. So like, he's basically like just naturally had like essentially a birth defect, I guess, but like, you know, but like a natural evolution,
mutant,
where it was like essentially his fucking lungs fucking pulled oxygen at the blood better than anyone else's. So it kept him fucking cooler and energized for longer or something like that. You know what I mean? Like his heart rate wouldn't go up as much and whatever that was. And it was just like, and the proof was in the pudding. It was like some guy who's like, you know, won loads of shit. I don't know if it was him or it was someone else, but obviously I'm like exaggerating what it was. It was something to that effect, though, where it was like there was something to do with his lungs, where it was like, oh yeah. It might have actually even been a swimmer or something where it was like someone just like, oh yeah, your lungs are better and you can hold your breath longer and therefore you can swim faster underwater for longer or further and stuff like that. And it's like at that point, is it like, oh, he's the best? Or is it like he's, you know what I mean? He's got fucking. He's a mutant. He's playing on a monitor and everyone else is on a TV. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Yeah. At that point, like, what fucking differentiates that fucking skill set? It's like, is it impressive as much? But I was never impressed by it anyway.
It's not. I'm not impressed by it. I mean, I loved basketball as a kid because I was told so I could play basketball. You know what I mean? But I don't sit and watch sports at all. I mean, I want to watch the Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul or Jake Paul, one of the fucking dickheads, because I want to see Mike Tyson beat the shit out of that person, Jake Paul. Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna though?
Yeah. Jake Paul, I mean, he's not a boxer, man. I mean, they pretend to be, but their fights, they're not fighting fucking boxers in the prime, are they? Not that I'm aware of, anyway, because I've never watched
they're
fights.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they are. And don't get us wrong, he was a monster and stuff like that. But it's more like that. It's like the Equalizer thing. It's like, do we really think that a 60-year-old man? Yeah. Do we think a 60-year-old man is going to be a fucking young guy in his prime?
I mean, maybe it's the fucking equivalent of me watching Rocky Balboa, and I just want to see that. Do you know what I mean? Because in Rocky Balboa, they said he's faster, he's stronger. So what we're gonna do is just create fucking big muscle. So when you punch him, he feels like he's been hit by a train. Yeah, and I think that's what they're doing for Mike Tyson. So
yeah, he's obviously gearing up on fucking HRT or whatever, because he would never build that kind of muscle frame at that age without assistance from some sort of
that's it.
Supplementary testosterone.
I'm interested in that fight because it's kind of like a Rocky Balboa situation where, you know, Rocky was in his 60s fighting.
I think it's fucking genius marketing as well. They're going to make so much money.
Oh, for sure.
I personally won't pay for it just because I don't care about fighting enough.
But I would say,
is it all right? But
for free, yeah.
Oh well, fair enough. I mean, I don't care about boxing at all. But like, I probably would watch that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I probably don't watch it live. Like, but
yeah.
Did it say it's been postponed? Then when's that?
Postponed to November because he's got an ulcer or something. So the doctor said you have to postpone the fight.
Who's got an ulcer?
Burst. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, because he's an old man who's dying.
Yeah, because he's 60. Yeah, but I mean, in my mind, it's like it's the underdog story. Even though Mike Tyson was never the underdog.
Yeah,
and a 60-year-old fighting a 30-year-old, he is kind of. But I do think he's gonna fucking kill Jake Paul. Like not literally kill him, but I think he's gonna fucking destroy him. Because
it's that thing of like
not a good boxer, and neither's his brother.
Well, it's just more that like, is it going to be a legit fight? I think as well. I think that's a part where you're like, they're just gonna.
I mean, if it's an exhibition for charity and they're just having a little bit of fun with it, no. But I mean, Mike Tyson said like he's going to destroy him. He's like, I'm going to annihilate him and show him what real boxing is, and I'm all for that because it's Jake Paul, and I don't like Jake Paul or Logan Paul because they're just both.
I mean, don't get us wrong. I don't like them at all. I've hated them ever since the fucking Japanese suicide forest fucking bit and everything. Like, he just apologized and then went on to being a fucking millionaire. But it's just like, for me, it's more like everyone fucks up, don't get us wrong, but there's this thing of like intention and stuff like that. And for me, that like, it's like, the thing is you can watch other videos and it's not just the suicide forest. So the suicide forest is what you got loads of heat for. But what else he did was, like, obviously he went to fucking Japan. Japan's culture is completely different, obviously. So theirs is like about respect, and they're a very polite, timid people. So like, you know, like if you were on, if me and you were like on a fucking metro or a train or whatever, and like people were acting fucking Larry, but they were like in your fucking face, you'd be like, can you fuck off? Like, if they're like right in your face and they're shouting and they're playing music and they're being a dick or whatever, you tell them to fuck off. Whereas in Japan, they don't have that culture of confrontation. And there's like videos where they were like literally like doing pranks and stuff like that, where they were like going up to people and harassing them. And there's like I say, the video that got all the flax, the suicide forest one, but there's like 3 or 4 videos that built up to that video because obviously he must have spent a week in Japan or whatever. Yeah. And they're like running into restaurants and like fucking throwing octopuses at people and stuff like that. Like, I'm sure he puts an octopus on the back of a car that's stopped at some lights, and then obviously the car drives off and it's got a fucking dead octopus on the back. And it's like, it's so like it's not funny for a start because like most pranks are just lazy and shit.
Yeah, it's just shit.
So it was just
All
like it was really
pranks are,
unfunny. But then it's just like you've literally went to another country just to disrespect their culture in every fucking possible way and be like. But then all those videos got obviously like millions of views from kids who are like, this is fucking brilliant. Because obviously, because when you're a kid, because like when I was a kid, I probably would have thought that was funny as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But objectively, it isn't funny.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I remember him laughing at there was a guy hanging in the forest, wasn't there? And he was like laughing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not funny, man. That guy was in pain. He ended his life. And you've put that on the internet. And then he's like, oh, I'm really sorry. I need to be better. And then he's just back to being a cunt straight after.
But the thing is, like, even if he literally went from a 180 change, I just still don't think, like, he's not the person deserving of that platform because he's,
No,
like,
he's not.
sensibility-wise.
I'm finding more and more of the people who have like all the money off YouTube and stuff like that. I just don't deserve what they've got. Their sense of entitlement is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, KSI seems to be like a decent enough dude, but he partnered with Logan Paul to sell fucking energy drinks to kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, it's not for kids, but your audience is primarily fucking kids.
100%. It's for kids. Why?
And they knew what they were doing.
All the kids were queuing up. It was little kids queuing up to pay £5, £10 for a bottle of this shit. And like, there's a guy who I follow. I can't remember what he's called now. He's called Derek, the guy, but I can't think of what his fucking page is. But his page used to be like about used to be dating advice or something like that. But like, I started watching him because there was like a few years ago I really got into weightlifting. And he's like a guy who literally takes steroids but admits it, because he's really honest, he tells you when other people are taking steroids who won't admit it and does breakdowns and stuff. And he did a breakdown of Prime where like he literally took it down to its ingredients and everything like that. And he was just like, this is like literally the worst energy drink that you could buy. He's like, it gives you literally no energy. It doesn't hydrate you. It's basically sugar water. And it's just like, you know what I mean? So it's like, he's literally saying, although for some reason the marketing campaign's been mega successful, like, you're better off drinking a Red Bull. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's just like, not only with the forcing this product, it's like a shit product as well. What's hilarious, you'll have seen this yourself in shops. Yeah, it's always near the tills now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
In the UK, it's all, like, obviously, my previous job, I was traveling a lot, so I was in a different town in the UK every single day, and I would always go to just whatever the local fucking shop was to get food at lunchtime. Yeah. And every single shop has fucking Prime next to the till discounted because nobody wants it because it doesn't even taste good.
No.
The only thing it has is like it's a cool looking bottle, and that's not me saying that. It's in like I think it looks cool, but I mean like it's in like that's its only really appeal. It's like I've got a bottle of Prime. Like, that's its appeal. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, when I walk up the high street, there is obviously a kid's room or a fucking loser adult's room, and there's Prime bottles. There's must be like 8 on the windowsill, like that way, like pride of place on the windowsill.
I know.
I don't fucking get it.
I never have.
Yeah, but it's that they're not pride of place. Do you know what I mean?
No,
You're not,
I'm
like,
just a lazy
put
piece
them
of shit.
there. Yeah. But they've put them on as if to say, look how many primes I've had, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't
I've got one of each colour, like that's what they want, yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Like, I've got every single colour, like, alright, so your mum paid fucking 800 quid for fucking sugar water.
It's fucking amazing marketing on their point, though, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is, for sure. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying that, but like, if I had an energy drink, I'd want people to fucking buy it, do you know what I mean? Millions and millions of pounds would do me. I'm not even greedy, I'd just take 1 fucking million, you know what? Just 1 million, please.
I was watching this other fucking podcast, and they were talking about, have you heard the comedian Shane Gillis?
Sounds familiar.
They were like friends of him or whatever, and he was just like, but Shane Gillis is like doing really well now, so like he sold a bunch of specials like to Netflix and stuff like that, and he's been on SNL, and he's just had a show on Netflix as well.
Is that called Tires or something?
Aye, yeah, Tires, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So he's like fucking a millionaire now, and they were like saying like, oh, like, we're fucking doing good, whatever. But he's doing so well, and they're like, but they love him. They're like, actually, he's close, real friends, sort of thing. And they're going like, but he shouldn't be doing this well. Like, it's just like, don't get us wrong, he's class and he deserves it, but like, he shouldn't be getting like, he's like, because now out of nowhere, I think he's like worth 10 million or something like that, and he's just like, you shouldn't have 10 million. And then he was just like saying, I was asking them like genuinely, not kidding, I was like, can you give us $1 million? Just give us $1 million. But then the point that like I was going to refer to, and what they fucking made is like, he's like, I'm literally a fucking full-time comedian. He was just like, if I got that fucking million, he's like, I'd probably stop working and I'd stop doing stuff. But then he thought about it, and then he's just like, because I used to always think this. I'd say like, well, if I had that much money, I'd stop, but I wouldn't. I would just do this. Like I would still podcast. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he ended up saying. Yeah, that's what he said. He was just like, nah, I still would do it, because he's like, once like the fucking thrill of having the money kind of wears off, you know what I mean? You still kind of need something for your time, and you need.
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, the rumor is like you can live off the interest off $1 million and stuff. I don't know if that's true. Or
yeah,
not,
it is. So you don't even like a normal fucking loan, a normal saving account. I think it's 2 to 5% interest. So that's a normal savings account. So if you have $1 million, you just put that straight in the savings account. You'll get like 10 grand a month.
Right.
Which is enough for anyone.
$1 million is fine if any millionaires are watching. Just $1 million. Do you know what I mean? For both.
So you don't even need to like be smart. You don't need to be smart and invest or anything. Like,
yeah.
You just need to put it in a savings account.
I'd buy a 1967 Chevy Impala, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. I'd get myself a beast PC. So I can.
Same. I would love to do that. Yeah. One of the things that they said though, because one of the guys off Cumtown, it's come back to us now. And it's like on their new podcast or whatever, and he is rich, like not mega rich or whatever, but like at the peak of Cumtown, they're making like 30-40 grand a month or something like that. Right. So he's got a bit of money. He said the problem is like you cannot just give someone $1 million. He's like, so you can, but he's like, but it costs more than $1 million. So it's just like, he's like, it must be the way that you think. There's like a limit on how much you can just gift someone. And he's like, like, if I just gift you $1 million, he's just like, I'll pay loads of tax on it, like, which is probably nearly $250,000 tax. But then you'd also pay $250,000 tax on that $1 million. So he's like, so you wouldn't get $1 million. So it's just like, so if you wanted actually a straight $1 million, like where you get literally $1 million deposit in your account, he's like, it's probably more closer to $2 million. Do you know what I mean?
Then I'll just take $2 million then. Jeez.
You know what I mean?
Don't overcomplicate it for yourself. $2 million will do.
Which is mad though, isn't it? When you think of like how money works like that, like you kind of just. It's because they don't want people to transfer wealth. Because I think if you're like a mega millionaire, like realistically, I think that's the problem with working class people. Is working class people actually more than anyone would sort people out because they are more giving. Like a lot of millionaires, like come from families who just have wealth. And wealth's in assets a lot of the time. So, like if you come from like a family and you live in an estate or something like that, like no one really owns the fucking house sort of thing. Like it's the family thing, and it passes down to whoever dies next and whoever dies next. And you have, like I say, you're skimming money off whatever the assets are. Whereas if you were to get 10 million, you'd be like, well, I've got 10 million. So now I'm going to give me friend some money and I'm going to give me mom some money. And you know what I mean? Like you'd help loads of people out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think they don't want you to do that, so they make that difficult for you to actually give out money. So I think it's something like, if you've got $1 million, I think you can only give out a cap of something like, you give away like $2,000 a month or something like that.
Right. Jesus
before you start
Christ.
getting like silly taxed on it, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'd take $2,000 a month then
I know,
until
right,
they give us $1 million.
I know. Well, that's what he was saying. He was just like, I was saying to him, and he was just like, tell us to fuck off or whatever, because he's saying, I'm talking to Shane Gillis, and like, I'm genuinely saying, well, I don't care about the tax and everything. It's like, whatever it takes, can you not just give us $1 million? Yeah. And he's going, no. And he's just like, and then he's like saying, but and then when fucking the guy off Cumtown breaks it down, it's like, oh, well, you could maybe give away like $2,000 a month. And he's like, well, if he just wants to give us $2,000 a month for the rest of the time, that's fine also.
Yeah, that is
but he's not going to do that, because it's like, they're friends, but I don't think he's like, it's not like it's his best friend or something. He's just like, you know, and he knows loads of people. But like, that's the thing, isn't it? Where you just think, at what point? For me though, if I got like that kind of money, I'd give some away anyway. Yeah,
I mean, to friends, I would. I wouldn't give any to family. Like, I know it sounds like, obviously my family, like who live with me, I would. Yeah. But nobody else, like mates. Do you know what I mean? If I had like 20 million, I'd give you $1 million. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks.
That I'm never going to get 20 million, so don't get excited.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Like, step it up.
But like when I started,
can I have that $1 million straight? You pay the tax now.
Yeah, obviously. When, as my brother put it, you've made it on YouTube. All the family were like, "Oh, the dog's unwell," or "How much do you make a month?" Like,
I remember you saying that was wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, not enough for that. Do you know what I mean? Like, even now, not even enough. Yeah. But it was like, well, you've made it now. You should have some money, or you're getting paid on YouTube.
The thing
like, I am, but
it's that
it's
thing
my
of like,
job.
It's that thing of obviously people don't understand. until like they themselves have done it. So they just think that. But like, so like when I say to people, like obviously if they're having a conversation with someone or whatever, and I'll be like, oh yeah, my friend does YouTube, it's his full-time job sort of thing. They're like, oh wow, really, blah blah blah. And then when like, but then I go like, you know, I was like, but he still just makes like a normal amount, like the same as we make working. And then they're like really disappointed. But we're like, obviously I've told them, I was like, oh, but he's got like 14,000 fucking subscribers or whatever. They're like, oh, that's class, blah blah blah. And then when they find out, it's like, is that all you get? And I was like, there's no fucking
Everyone's
money in
shocked. There's, unless you're like fucking Mr. Beast, you know what I mean? All those big channels, you're not making that much money.
Have you seen the fucking trend on TikTok and stuff and on YouTube Shorts where basically people are not making interesting content? They're just begging for views essentially, but they're just like, they're not begging this and like, please view this, but they're saying like, my dreams to go, some guy has like, I've seen some guy with like a couple of million views and it was something like, my dreams to go to culinary school or whatever. And he's like, and blah, blah, blah. Me gran told us I should do it sort of thing. And I don't want to prove her a liar. And he's like, all you've got to do is watch this for 2 minutes to get to the end and leave a like and a comment. And he's just like, and I'll have enough money to invest in my own business. And it's worked from like, that's it. Where like, it's got millions of views and it's like, because if you get a couple of million views and they watch it all the way through and they like it and the comment, or like a lot of people like and comment on it or something, like there must be enough. I think YouTube, you're like, I mean, you'll know better than me, but I'm sure YouTube on a million used to make quite a bit. So a million views used to be about like 30 grand or something. Yeah, 30 grand. It's not that much now, I don't think. I think it's went down because YouTube always goes down, doesn't it, really?
Oh, yeah, it does. All the time. Like on 80,000 views, that's my highest viewed video. I would say I got about 140 quid. But
fucking hell, yeah.
I got most of those views I got before I was monetized on that channel. But I still made 140 quid on, I would say, 40,000 views. I think roughly about that. So, I mean, if I released a video and I got 1 million views, I'd probably say about 8 grand maybe now. I mean, that's still fucking 8 grand. You know what I mean?
Still, it's still amazing. I wouldn't turn my nose up at it.
But my train of thought is now, like, I'm working on Platinum Planet again because it does better than any video I do on Platinum Planet has made more money than any video does on my reaction channel, because reaction channels make the least amount of money.
Have you got like an insight or understanding of why that video did well? Because I think we talked about last time why I couldn't figure it out, but I was thinking, like, do you have an insight? Is it because of the nicheness of the game, or?
Well, yeah, I've got a couple of ideas for other games that I think could do the same. But basically, everyone was talking about Hitman at the time. Everyone on YouTube, it was having like a resurgence. Somebody even put that comment in the video. I've noticed Hitman's having a resurgence at the moment, and like I noticed that, and I was like, do you know what? Hitman's got a platinum. I'll do that.
Yeah,
and it wasn't my first video. I don't think. Bully was. I did Bully, and it did Aries 2K views maybe. And I thought, well, I'll do another game, and I thought, well, I'll do Arkham Knight or something, Arkham Asylum. And then I noticed everybody was talking, like, they were not like making gameplay, but like talking about the game, retrospectives and looking back and Hitman, Manhunt 2 and stuff. I thought, well, I'll give that a go. And it did the normal amount of numbers. And then I woke up the next morning, I was like 20,000 views, almost 1,000 subscribers. I was like, I had not even that, I had 300 subscribers from my other channel. And then it just, like that, I was like, whoa. And then a week later, I was monetized. And then I ended up, I've got 82,000 views. It still gets views now. It gets about 1,000 views a week.
Jesus.
So it still makes 8 quid a week for us.
Yeah, that's sick.
So, yeah.
I think that's the thing as well as certain videos. You can actually just get a bit of longevity off, can't you? I mean, like that's what's always funny to me. I think is those channels where they've just got like 2 or 3 videos, but all 3 videos or 2 or 3 videos are millions plus. Like there's one guy where he goes to essentially, I presume, a Walmart in America, like, you know, an Asda basically, and he gets a fucking live lobster, takes it home, puts it in a tank, and he's like, "This is my pet lobster now." And then it's just like, you watch it, the first video is him like feeding it and learning about lobsters, and then the second video he buys it a bigger tank, and then the third video is him like feeding it more shit, and it's like each video's got over 1 million fucking views.
That's like,
and it's just a regular dude with nothing. Do you know what I mean? And you just think like, fuck.
Well, have you seen that video of the guy whose wife's leaving him and he's doing a review of whiskey? She's like
No.
leaving him in the background.
No.
It's got millions of views. Like that's his best viewed video. Made him loads of money on it. And this was a couple of years ago, so probably like
Yeah.
40 grand. And she's packing her shit, and he's reviewing the whiskey, and literally he's obviously sad about his wife leaving, but he's like, I'm going to review this whiskey, and it went viral, and he made loads and loads of money. And it's just like not even a high quality video.
Yeah.
Camera phone.
That's what's mad though. Like the same thing on that one is like there's the editing shit, the picture quality shit, but it's just that's the thing. That's one of the things that I fucking like. I made this mistake when I first set up my YouTube channel, and then like back in the day and stuff, or like one of my very, very first channels, because I've had loads of channels. Is like like don't watch vidIQ is one of the first things I'd fucking say to people. Is like I watched so much of that fucking channel,
Same.
and their advice actually is bullshit. Like
it's all bullshit, man. All of it.
Most of the advice is fucking absolutely bullshit. They're like because it's so fucking vague and catch-all. It's just like get better at making thumbnails, and you're like how. And they don't actually say how.
Give us the tips,
And they're just like, subscribe to thing, and we'll use AI to generate a tile. And I'm like, I've used the generated tiles, and it made no difference on the amount of views on the video, like zero.
Same.
And like same with like that tips on things, and they're like, oh, you'll get better over time. And it's like, I actually believe that. Don't get us wrong. I do think like if I've made 1,000 thumbnails, I do think the thumbnails will be better than when I made my first 10. Like I don't doubt that. Yeah. But that's nothing to do with vidIQ, and like. And it's it just advice channels. But one of the things like I made the mistake of was like people going, you need to have like perfect fucking audio, like perfect. Your audio has to be so perfectly clear. Otherwise, and like if you've got really clear audio, like people will think you sound more intelligent than you sound in like your videos more. And I'm like, the fuck? I've got videos with like literally like really shit audio, and I've got videos with really crystal clear audio. And the reaction's exactly the same. It's always about the content. And same with camera quality. Camera quality, they go like, you need to have the best fucking camera quality that you can have and the best fucking lighting. And I'm like, it literally has so little fucking impact. Like, look at, like I say, Cumtown, obviously one of the fucking... We've done 1 million podcasts, and most of our podcasts have been either about games or movies, but mostly games because we're big gamers. And it's like... but look at Cumtown. Like, I love Cumtown, and that's obviously a big inspiration for this. Was like, oh, let's just do a podcast where we'll stop fucking trying to write news and cover the news and talk about that, and we'll just talk shit because then we'll have a reason to catch up. But like that was so low quality, like low quality audio. All three of them using obviously much like me and you right now, using different mics and things like that, and different setups, and like different cameras, and like there's proper old videos. I know they're old, but I mean you're only talking like COVID years old, which is only a couple of years ago. So it's not like the camera qualities were literally shit overall at that time. It's just like now they just had shit cheap equipment and people still loved it. And I'm not saying that's why this should do good, but it's more like one of the things I learned the hard way is I spent way too much money in the beginning. Like, I was like, I need to buy the best fucking this. I need to buy the best. Do you know, like me PC, I do actually wish I had a stronger PC just because I'm a gamer and I like fucking gaming, but part of us kind of thinks that because I just bought it and I mainly just use it for editing less than gaming because I still probably play on my PlayStation more. I wish I bought a cheaper PC. I wish I'd bought a cheaper fucking microphone setup and cheaper headphones and do you know what I mean? Like I wish I'd bought cheaper everything. I wish I hadn't bought 2 monitors. Like I'm back to using 1 monitor because I just prefer it. You know what I mean? But I thought I needed 2 monitors when I was streaming. Like for Twitch and stuff, I was like, oh, you need 2 monitors because you need to be able to say chat while you're gaming. It's like, you don't really. You can just tab back to it when you need to, like Or you could just you can even just fucking put it overlay over the game you're playing. Yeah. But in my mind, I was just like, you have to do what everyone tells you.
Yeah, I mean the thing that I went with was just to see what was popular at that moment, and I've got another game in mind, and when people start talking about it, that's when I'm going to do it. I can't remember the name of it now. Lollipop Chainsaw. That's it. Like. When people start talking about that game again, that's when I'm going to put that game out. Yeah. I've also got a Saw video, the game of Saw. I bought PlayStation 3.
Nice.
When the new Saw comes out, I'll stick the Saw gameplay out because it's popular, it's trending. Then like Mad Max. I was going to do Mad Max because the Mad Max game came out, but oh shit, it says something about your internet connection is unstable. Can you still see us?
And see you perfectly.
Yeah. So yeah, Mad Max. I was going to do that game, but there's a trophy that you can't get anymore, so you can't platinum it. So couldn't do it. but it's like surfing trends.
Yeah, I still think that you could do that video and just say it was impossible to get this fucking trophy, because I think people. I've watched channels like this. People don't mind failure if it's entertaining. If you go like, oh, I fucking did all this, and you just go like, unfortunately I couldn't get the platinum, but maybe sometime down the line they'll fucking update it or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just make something out of that.
Yeah,
I still think you could, but yeah, I do. I mean, obviously nobody watches this channel, so I'm happy to give fucking loads of fucking things. But like, I'm just thinking like. Metal Gear's obviously having a bit of a resurgence. If you've got a PS3, is that where you can play Sons of Patriots? Not Sons of Patriots, is it? 4?
Not sure. Maybe.
That could be a video, possibly, because you can only play that on PS3. It's like PS3 locked.
Right. Okay.
So it's like you can play the first trilogy, and then obviously you can play fucking Ground Zeroes and shit.
Yeah.
And people love that, and they'll really want it ported to the new consoles.
Right. Okay.
People really want that. I would say still do some research, but I just think like around the time fucking Snake Eater's dropping, to be like, I platinumed the fucking like the fucking one of my favorite Metal Gears, or you call it something to the effect of like the Metal Gear that you can't play on modern consoles or something.
Yeah. Well, I've never played 4, but I've got the Metal Gear 1, 2, 3. So what I might do is all those 3 and stick it in one video.
Yeah.
And for when Snake Eater does come out, that could be a good idea. But yeah, I've got loads of ideas. It's just I get in the zone where I'm like, right, I'm doing this, and I'm loving it. Don't get us wrong. Like I'm editing the Vice City video now, and I showed you a clip of it, of me like green screen into a taxi, and I think
did your short do well? I'm sure it was doing well when I seen it.
400 video views, I think.
That's all right.
I mean, it's just kind of a way to say like I'm coming back if you want to watch the videos. But again, once I've done that, I'm doing Alien Isolation because there's an Alien film coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it on the hardest difficulty. I can't kill anybody and I can't die. And I'm on mission 4 and I regret those choices immediately.
Yeah.
Because the alien always sees us. The humans always fucking destroy us. But it'll make for a good video, I think, because like
we've had this before, but it's like it's such a it's not even the edit, is it? It's just like even just doing the game is such a fucking. I mean, how long did Vice City take you? I mean, Vice City's not that long of a game, and that's still a fucking nightmare because I know some of those missions. The one where you've got to do the little fucking helicopter and deliver the bombs to each floor and stuff like that. That's fucking solid.
Did that first time?
Did it?
Did it first time. I had no problems with any story missions.
Yeah.
I got to the end, I got 100%, and I'm like, right, come on, pop that fucking platinum, let's go. Godfather trophy. You need 100,000 criminal points to get the Godfather trophy, which means you've got to make either 60 million or kill 100,000 people because you get 1 point per person.
Yeah.
So I spent, I kid you not, 20 hours fucking murdering Vice City to get that. I did the police missions in a helicopter called Brown Thunder, and I literally had to do over 160 vigilante missions to get that. And it took hours. Yeah. Hours and hours.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. But I was loving it. The whole time. I was like, this is going really well. This is going class, much better than Grand Theft Auto 3, because I was really sick by the end of that. And then I got to that, I was like, what? And then I looked.
Just because I'm a cruel bastard, I just think you should have to do Dead Rising 1, so you've got to do the 53,000 zombie kills.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you know what it is? I bet you that's easy, man. You just go underground and
just go and do laps. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd do Dead Rising like easy. Not easy, but
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Vice City.
But I do think that is the secret. I think that's what's. I think personally, that's why YouTube's so hard. Is that you actually are better off chasing trends because trends lead to more success. Do you know what I mean? Which is why I was saying, like, I really like your fucking other channel, the fucking Too Geordie, Too Furious, where you're basically just doing like those cut videos, because those cut videos are so popular. Like, and there's so many people who I watch just do like that. Have you seen that? Who's that big fucking guy? Penguin Zero, or he's also called Moist Critical. Yeah. Have you seen? He's made a channel called, I'm sure it's called The Other Channel.
Right. Okay.
And it's basically him and his friends, because they're obviously rich. They've made a version of The Cut. It's like their own. So they're doing the cut style videos. but they're just that. So it's just like, so that, because that content's so fucking, you know what I mean? So it works out perfect for him because he posts, they'll post a cook video and then he does his type of reaction video to his own shit, essentially. Yeah. And then it's like he's fucking double dipping. But then obviously, because like, obviously you did those videos, I thought they were fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And you were saying that they weren't fucking, the cost to do them wasn't as...
Nah, it was easy. Way easier than...
And like, if you're like, obviously, if you're talking about dropping your main videos on your main channel and just doing the Patreon, I just think you might have... Obviously, it's not for me. It's not for me to say what you do with your fucking time, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, it's just selfishly, I really enjoyed those videos.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go back and do them easily. Yeah. It's just I don't want to edit 4 different things, which is what I'd be doing. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, don't get us wrong, like, I've got an iPad now and I watch movies on the iPad, so while I'm editing, it's not as mundane now, but it's still fucking pretty mundane. Like, and then everyone's like, oh, you left this bit out of the video, and I'm just like, fuck you. I can't control what YouTube tells me I'm allowed, you know what I mean? But yeah, you just take it out of me, so yeah. I
hope one of your videos pop off so that you can get like fucking $8,000 and buy an amazing PC, because your editing would be so much fucking smoother. Because my PC is not much better than yours. But my render time's like half yours, like, for the same shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. The podcast, the last one, took nearly 2 hours to render, like, fucking
the full podcast takes about 15 minutes.
Does it?
That's what I'm saying, so I'm happy to keep fucking doing it if you want. You know?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yes, please.
I think it's just because you wanted the thing. I mean, you wanted the Zoom cuts, which, I mean, I can do them, but you'll have to just tell us literally what you do.
Yeah, it's literally just... I mean, I'll walk you through that off podcast, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah, I mean, we should probably wrap this one up, because I've got shit to do. Sadly, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I mean, you just need to give away your fucking send-off.
Yeah, don't shoot kids. I was going to say something really bad there, so I won't. Don't shoot kids unless they
Please
kick
say
your
the
dog.
bad thing.
No, I'm not saying the bad thing. Don't shoot kids unless they shoot your dog, right?